gathering is. A little kind of windy here. A little bit windy today. As always, it's windy. All right. Let's get it going here. All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mawad coming to you again out in the highway and the byway, bringing out this gospel of truth to edify the whole elect of Yahshua Israel, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics, to warn the 2/3 of our people of the judgment that the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, has already brought on Great Babylon, America, and is going to increase the terror on this land. And it's always a pleasure that Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, dusty, stinking, sodomite crackers know that the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, is going to put you motherfuckers into slavery real soon. Right there. All of you going into slavery real soon. Okay? Your time is limited. Before we get started here, let's give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. The Lord and teachers, elders, and the cause of great millstone, like eyes of the spin of the truth. Faithfully fearlessly feeding the sheep and new brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. All right, so another week. Time is going fast. It feels like I've been out here. I was out here just 2 days ago. Okay, so time is going real fast, and a lot of brothers are talking about that. You know, even other people are talking about that. You know, the fact that time is speeding up, and that's a good thing because what did Yahweh Bashim Shai said? He would speed up the time for the elect's sake, so that we won't have to keep suffering here in Great Babylon, America, under the oppression of Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, and also having to deal, okay, with the simpleness of our people who don't see that the enemy, okay, is preparing to come at them, okay, with great wrath. Okay, let's go into our first scripture here. This is the book of John 15, and starting with verse 20, it reads, "If ye were of the world will love his own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you." Every week, you have the elder brother putting up videos that talks about what? That showcases the people's hatred for the man of the Lord that goes out there on the highway and the byway and speak. Now, a lot of time they're talking about, you know, IUIC, you know, because they use, you know, the bullhorn and, you know, some of the more aggressive camps out there that are looking more to recruit than actually just, you know, preaching the gospel, giving out the warning, whether they would hear or forbear. They're kind of looking for more likes and, you know, congregation type of, you know, reward versus waiting for the reward from the Mashiach himself. Okay? But nonetheless, the fact remains is all those camps are still talking about the fact that we are the Hebrew Israelite. The so-called white man said the Edomites, they're the enemy of us. Okay? We are the chosen people of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and therefore we should at least try to follow the commandments to the best of our ability, you know, such as not eating, you know, abominable food, committing adultery, you know, engaging in lewd acts such as homosexuality, and they don't want to hear it because they don't want to be transformed. They want to remain in that same old spirit, okay? Get what you can get, okay, from Esau's crumbs. They still desiring the crumbs, okay? But the Lord's got something for y'all, okay? It says, "Remember the word that I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my saying, they will keep yours also." What happened to when the Mashiach came on earth? Okay? His own rejected him. They didn't know him. They were looking for someone big, you know, someone that had an army, someone that was grand, you know. That's what they were looking for, because our people is all about vanity. They're all about the outside appearance. They don't look into the inward part of anything. Okay? But the Lord, he looks at our inward part. He's searching us out. Okay? He's searching us out right now. You've seen a lot of guys falling out. You know, this isn't for them. They're not ready for the endurance part. And we haven't even gone to the level yet where, you know, these crackers gonna come, guns drawn, and pull you out of your house or take your house from you, confiscate your house and say, this is now property of the government. Okay, we deem you a terrorist So basically, we assume that everything you have was gathered illegally or whatever the case is like that. And they can do that. They can do that, and they will be doing that. What do you think is happening to the so-called illegals, okay? Which right now, you see them right now, they're going after the, tribe of Levi, okay, the so-called Haitians, or basically the Caribbean Jakes, okay, mainly the Haitians, grabbing them up and deporting them back to Haiti or deporting them back or to deport them over into Africa, all right? And they're still on that campaign of going after the so-called Latinos and Hispanics, okay? Deporting them, putting them inside these internment camps, okay, and saying, we're going to be processing your paperwork and blah 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 blah, which we know that's just a sham, and for them just trying to stall, because they know when World War III kicks up, they're going to be giving them an ultimatum. Hey, you either fight for us or we put you to death. Okay, and there was an article that came out that talked about the fact that there's incinerators that are at these internment camps. They have incinerators because they're preparing for mass casualties or mass death from diseases, overcrowded spaces, lack of malnutrition. Okay, people fighting for whatever scraps of food there is. It's not going to be like your typical state prison where you go to. They feed you 3 meals a day. Maybe they put you in a work program, whatever the case is like that. No, you're basically a prisoner of war. Trump has declared war on the tribe of Esau. So when they put you in these internment camps, okay, if you've watched any war movies where they put you in a dungeon or whatever the case is, that shackle you, maybe throw you some piss for water and just some little, roach infested, maggots infested food, okay, which this is actually being reported, that's what you can expect to get into these places. Why the hell do you think there is so much protest going on around some of these doggone internment camps? Okay, because you have insiders that are going out that are working in it, and they're seeing such a deplorable environment of how people are being treated in these camps, that they're actually going out and they're speaking about it. So people are standing outside protesting. Okay. Now, this is right now while things are still, society is still engaged and still intact. People still have jobs, even though there's millions getting laid off. Prices is high. You get Trump going back to his ways that he did a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago they said that they had peace, or they had a ceasefire agreement out there in the Strait of Hormuz. Well, I guess the oil barons or the people that have a lot of stake in the oil, okay, I guess they're not satisfied with the billions that they've made so far, so they told them, hey, look, you know what? Fire some more Tomahawk missiles. Let's get this party started again, and we can get gas prices back up again. So you have a tyrant for a leader in Great Babylon, America, and gradually but surely you're seeing, okay, people's sense of security is being chipped away at. Okay? Right now, the poor Edomites are now getting the first victims of it. Okay, as far as for the other tribes, Jakes, we have always been victims of it. We've always been victims of this man's game on his ways. But these poor Edomites are now complaining about it. No more middle class. Then it's going to be the upper middle class gone. And then once the ones that have always thrived, really start to feel it. Okay. You're going to see, okay, where they're going to finally rise up against the government. Excuse me here, I got hold on, yes, 1 second. I got a lot of, the wind is really, really heavy out here. And Slovakia. I can't catch a break out here because I either do all camp inside if I don't want to be in the wind, but I come out here and I try to deal with it the best way I can. But this is a very, very windy place. It's very windy. For some unknown reason, it's just constantly windy. Okay, because there's some mountains around here that's causing the wind, how the wind comes down. It's causing the wind to come down. It's just constantly windy and dusty. It's horrible. Okay, I've considered moving from here. I've considered it. I really considered it, to sell my house and just move. You know, I didn't know this place was that windy. Else I would not have probably settled out here in this part of it. But anyways, you got to deal with what we got to deal with. Nonetheless, it says, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours. They didn't regard Yahushua as the son of the Most High. They didn't. They didn't. And that's the reason they had this absolute hate for Yahushua, the 2/3. So much so that when they had the option, okay, which even if Dad said, okay, give us Yahushua versus Barabbas, it wouldn't have worked anyways, because Yahushua came for the sole purpose as a sacrifice, okay, for the elect of Yasharallah, for the elect of Israel. So he was going to go through with it. Everything had to happen the way it had to happen. So those Jakes that voted for him to be, crucified, okay, that was their destiny. And what did they say? Let his blood be upon our children's head. Well, you're getting exactly what you asked for, okay? So we understand that when we come out and we preach, we have enemies. Our enemies are in our house, the Israel, okay? Our own people are our number one enemies next to Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, all right? We will go into the book of Psalms 139 and verse 21 reads, do not I hate them, O Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, I hate thee, and I grieve at those that rise up against thee. I hate them with a perfect hatred, I count them mine enemies. Okay? It says, search me, O power, know my heart, try me, and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So, we're not perfect. None of us are. And we fight and we battle, all kinds of thoughts, wicked thoughts, and, demons coming on you. There's things that you want to do. There's ways that you want to deal with a situation that a lot of times you have to keep thinking about it. I put up a video yesterday called Take the L for Now. Because and you saw in certain clips, and I used a clip from The Longest Yard with Nelly, who had to deal with Stone Cold Steve Austin character and a couple other guys, who was trying to ambush him in the library by calling him a nigger because they wanted him to react so they could hurt him. And then I showed some other clips. And really is because people are going, we're in a nation where people are antagonists. They like to jack with you, one way or the other. People like to jack with you. They like to annoy you. People like to infringe on your peace of mind. You'll have noisy neighbors that want to play their music loud. They don't clean their property up right, so their debris comes on your property. And just things that you just want to deal with it once and for all. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay? You want to go that route. So bad. Okay? But we got to remember, we got to walk in wisdom towards those that without. We can't let our emotions and our anger get the best of us. Somebody step on your shoes and they put dirt on it. Do you put them in the spirit world because they dirty up your nice shoes? Because now it means that you're really a vain person. That means you're all about the materialism. How you look. As far as not having that dirty shoes. But so we walk around with a different spirit and we ask the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, to try our hard. Am I worthy? Am I doing the right thing here? Because I have a lot of wicked things in my head. Now I don't act them out, but they're in my head constantly. Why are they in my head so much? Okay? Our people hate Yahweh Shema Shai. They hate him. Okay? Now we know Esau, the Edomites, they don't even consider, the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai. They don't consider Yahweh Shai. In fact, they don't even believe in a higher power than them. They know there is one, but they don't consider it because, they boast about their technology. They boast about the fact that they could get away with their murder, get away with anything that they do. Okay, and what's the big story going on right now is with that Jake that went out on that boating trip with those Edomites, and now he's in the spirit world. And now you're hearing a lot of things that's talking about not trusting, these so-called white people. But from a spiritual aspect of it, when you look at it, that's already been written on how we should walk around. The fact, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with Edomites. They're gonna be, some of them are gonna be a boss, supervisor, whatever the case like that, or they may even have the job that you require. And that's just the way things is. However, you don't have to associate yourself or socialize with them. You don't have to follow their ways. They'll invite you to the house and go, hey, why don't you come on over? We're having a little get together, we're going to be celebrating a birthday, we're going to be celebrating Christmas, or we're going to be celebrating the 4th of July, or whatever case like that. And you say, no, I have something to do. I have to go deal with, something, of a personal nature. Excuse yourself. And you could also make yourself very unattractive to where people don't want to invite you around, or where people don't like your presence. Pretty much, they don't want to really have you around because you're not a fun person. And that's really easy to do. But we consider the 2/3 our enemies. I can't remember, I think it was a brother from GMS Inland Empire. And he was talking about how Jake's them, how they so quick to pull the sword out for their brothers and sisters. But when the so-called white man comes around, or the so-called white man, destroy a member of their family, put them in the spirit world, they do absolutely nothing. Now, we could blame that on a whole lot of things. The fact that people are freaking dumb, first of all, retarded, stupid, and sottish. Okay, Esau enforces that with rap music and his music. One, the females to be whores, and also to be rebellious against a man. Okay? To be rebellious against a man. I don't need a man. And then to be a whore. Loose. For the men, you have them rapping about, or singing about, or chanting about destroying and killing their brothers. Putting bullets in them. Chopping their head off. Stomping them. Taking their women and committing adultery with them. They never go and they sing that about the enemy or any other tribe. Why? So that's so Esau has those things that enforces that attitude towards you. There's a reason why there's a gleam of hate that comes from someone that looks like you. They're looking at you with a gleam of hate, sizing you up, constantly sizing you up. Okay? I see it at the gym. With certain jakes, sizing me up. Sizing me up. They watch how you train, and for some reason in their insecurity, they get tense. Okay? Like they want to test you. They can't stand the fact that you've been doing it for a while. Okay? But you can feel that. Okay? And it's not a competitive, size up like, oh, you know what? He just did 15 chin-ups. Chin over the bar. Let me see if I can get 16. And see if he can go and beat that. That kind of way like that. Because that was the case of that, you'd be like, you know what, bro? Man, I see you. Boy, you're really good at this stuff, huh? You can do 15, 20 of these things with ease. Would you like to have a friendly competition? That could motivate me. And that works out great. And there's jakes that do that stuff like that. There's jakes out there that get along and, they do things and then they work. They jakes that have a teamwork and stuff like that. But for the most part, we have a lot of niggas. Okay? We have a lot of niggas. Let's go into Isaiah 30, starting with... Let's go on to Isaiah 30, starting with I'm gonna go up a little bit. I like this particular scripture. Okay, let's start actually with verse 1. We're gonna go and read a couple precept from this particular one. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children," said the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, "that take counsel," meaning they're gonna take advice. They're looking at the so-called white man is always for advice. Okay, why is my life in a mess? Well, he said it's gonna be better. He's gonna make the economy great. He's gonna make America great again. So you start to put into your head like, okay, if he said he's gonna make America great again, that means what? More jobs. Maybe I stand a chance of getting a job, a great paying job, and I can finally go and do certain things that I always wanted to do. And this is the kind of things that goes on in Jake's head because they're listening to the prince, okay, or the kings of Great Babylon, America. Okay, they're putting their hope in them. It says, "But not of me, and are covered with a covering, but not of my spirit, that may add sin to sin." So, in Esau's world, anything counts, anything goes. You can be a faggot. Love is love. Okay? You can commit adultery. Oh, and they use terms like, he's insecure, he's jealous. If he wasn't jealous, he wouldn't mind that guy screwing his wife. But he's insecure. So they use these type of things here, like they use these type of things to justify all their deviance. Whereas we know in the scripture it says, bottom line is, if someone lay with your wife, under the law, both that person and your wife can be put to death publicly, not hidden. It's not going to be a homicide that has to be investigated. It's going to be brought into the middle of the town and put to doggone death. And the reason would be well known to everybody why these two are being put to death. Two batty boy are walking together, okay, holding hands, doing the nasty and all that stuff. You are brought in the middle of the public and you are put to death for your act. That's simple. Okay? Back in the day out here, they used to burn witches, or people they call witches. You know, you heard of something called Salem law? Okay? They'll put them at a stake and burn them. They suspect them of being rich. Nowadays, they've basically pussified the judgments that should be actually executed, proving that this place is not a righteous place at all. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have a whole month dedicated to sodomy, and you certainly wouldn't have that act in the so-called holy land over there in Israel, which is our land, which the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is putting the spirit in Netanyahu to keep fucking with doggone Iran. You're seeing Russian people are now calling out to Putin and saying, "Look, you're weak, man, because you throwing shadow punches at, Ukraine. Why don't we use our real power against this doggone place and end this bullshit now once and for all?" Okay, but Russia is holding back. They're not really using their real power or their real military force. Okay. Why is it that you think the whore is going to hate America, Great Babylon? The whore, why do you think the beast is going to hate the whore? Imagine someone that just always goes and constantly sabotage everything. And that's what America does. That's what the white man does. He sabotages everything. If this man was to remain as the ruler of this earth for another 100 years, I think you can talk to AI and get an apocalyptic picture of what this world would look like. There'll be nobody left. He's anti-life, but yes, a lot of people trust into him. It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Why would you trust in the shadow of Egypt? Why would you trust in a Pharaoh that calls you a criminal, a thief, that hates you, that has empowered these racist Edomites now training to choke you out, chop you up into pieces, stab you up, and put a bullet in your doggone head. And we've seen this happening. We saw those guys marching, okay, during the 4th of July, okay, out there in DC, okay. And that's just one of many groups out there. And that's just the ones out there marching. We're not even talking about your regular, Edomite. And I put some examples of racist Edomites using the N-word in that video I did last night. And we do these things because we understand when we read the scriptures. Okay, y'all probably don't want to hear the scripture. Okay. I'm sick of hearing the scripture. I'm sick of hearing it from you, man. You're always negative. Okay, so let me show you an example of this. Real, not Hollywood, footage from security camera or somebody that's filming it decided to put it up or upload it. This is what's happening, man. This is why we tell you to walk circumspect. You got to be aware of your surrounding. You got to be aware of the people that you're dealing with. Do not assume that people are who they pretend to be when you meet them. I don't look at people and go, oh, they like me. I'm going to assume you hate my guts and you want to kill me. Okay, before I figure out that maybe you're not a danger to me. I'm approaching I approach people with the fact in the back of my mind that this person may have some agenda against me. Okay? I'm not naive like that. All right? Nor do I desire, okay, to be loved by anybody or cuddled by anybody. Okay? It doesn't make or break me. So I'm not going to walk with that type of ignorance like, oh yeah, I'm cool with everybody around here like that. No, I'm not. I don't know you. Someone who walks circumspect, whether you're male or female, around you. Okay, it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. When this man is saying, make America great again, he's not talking about so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native Americans, and Latinos. He's not talking about us. So automatically you should know. He's talking about his billionaire friends, the elites. We always look at it in the way that he's talking about bringing back the good old days of Jim Crow. You would think that someone in a leadership position, such as the President of the United States, would be impartial, fair, just. But from the history, from the beginning, from the founding forefathers, so I like to call them the founding four faggots, okay? There's been no indication that there were any type of fairness or justice in this place. And they go, all men are created equal. Bullshit. That's a good lesson. Give me a second here. That's a good lesson. I'm going to go into that. And of course, you know how I go into the lesson with that. Okay, I'm not going to give out the storyline for it, but I have the scriptures for it, of course, and also the animation that I'm going to bring out for it, proving that all men are not created equal. All right? We have not been treated fairly here. Why is it that a portion of our people cannot seem to understand? We are in a low place, in a dungeon, in the valley of the shadow of death. We are prisoners. Yeah, I don't have handcuffs with me. I don't have chains around my neck or my ankle. But I'm in prison, man. This ain't our place. We are in bondage. We are finishing out our sentence. Deuteronomy 28. Yes, it does apply to us, whether you Edomites want to believe it or not, and you come up with your weak, rebuttal against us, because if we're not who we say we are, and the scripture said we are, why should it matter to you? See, what it matters is the fact is that you don't have us marching on the street begging for equality, begging for rights and all this other crap. We're standing up. We show you a 12 tribe chart that you see right here. Okay, Mark of the Beast. We show pictures historically of this man buck breaking, hanging in some trees, gated baits, all his iniquities that we can put on a poster. We show you with the image of Yahweh Shemashai, according to the scriptures, that he is a dark-skinned man, okay, with white woolly hair, okay. We prove, okay, that we are the tribe of Esau. And because you have men, such as myself and all the other brothers out there, starting with the elders, the apostles, the men that were the forerunners before people like myself, were able to come on the highway and the byway and do this work also. We ain't bowing down to you, and that offends you. You're offended by that. You Edomites, you crackers, you low-level crackers are offended by that. You're offended the fact that you are now looking at men that is not looking at you in admiration. We looking at you like, what a disgusting, foul, abominable created being you are. That's how I look at you. That's how I look at every doggone white man right now. Minus the brothers down in the spirits who are doing this work and stuff like that. But I don't sit around, I don't sit around and try to figure out who's who. If your spirit is evil, it's evil. Okay? But I'm speaking in general to you doggone Edomites. The ones that are going to raise your voice and go that we are full of shit, that we're racist, what they call us, black supremacists. Wow. Black supremacists. Well, we are supreme over you. That is true. But it's way about black supremacy. Oh, you don't even know half of it. All right? But y'all are offended. And so a doggone a lot of the tribe of Israel is offended that we are not an all-inclusive club, so to speak. Not everybody can come in. We're not going to have the faggots standing side by side us. We don't accept it. We're not going to give you a pass. We're not giving Esau a pass. So this is the reason why y'all are rebellious to the fact that, wait a minute, what can y'all do for us? We speak the word of truth. We're giving you a warning of death that's coming. This is a judgment from who y'all call God and Jesus, who's going to come and bring that judgment on your dumb ass. Okay? It's not Esau, really. But y'all figure y'all can go and cozy up with your enemy and maybe he bypassed you. Well, how has that worked? How has that worked so far in the 400 years that we've been here? They estimate what, 450 years that we've been here? How has that worked for you? It says, now go, this is out, verse 8, it says, now go write it before them in a table and note it in the book. There may be for a time to come and forever and ever. You're saying, well, why y'all wishing for the white man to go into slavery? Why y'all wishing or hoping or trying to create separatism when we have been spending a long time since the 60s trying to integrate, assimilate, be a part of their system? What does that amount to? They've gentrified a lot of the ghettos. Planted gardens, flowers, bought up the property cheap, and then your dumb, stupid black ass, okay, can't afford to live there anymore. How come they didn't keep you? Why didn't they keep the rent the same? When they do things, okay, such as improving the community for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, particularly you Negroes and Latinos, they're doing it for their own benefit. Once they clean it up, beautify it, make it a little bit more cracker friendly, then they kick your black ass out because they don't want you to hell around. Your presence lowers the value of the property. Okay? It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Hey, we give it to you all the time. We show it to you. If anyone walks up here right now, I can show them right on this poster what you're not supposed to eat. Committing adultery is a sin. Okay? I can show you. Okay? We're not supposed to be celebrating these pagan holidays and stuff. You still get spics out here still throwing up fireworks last night. And I just always hope Yahweh Shema Shah would just allow one of those fireworks to just blow up in their hand, just fuck them up. I don't know about you brothers, but I so desire to see people in misery. I'm so tired of their smiling faces, man. And I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that scripture. But this is how we live. This is how we live. It says, which says to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Well, guess what? You got those that do that. The IUIC, ISCPK, and the list goes on and on and on. Who are part of the 503C, in which they have to go and do community service, and they also have to modify the words in the scriptures, okay, to suit the ear of the enemy, who's saying, look, in order for you to have the ability to operate as a non-profit entity, this is why they go out there so much time. They go into recruiting, printing on flyers, and trying to recruit and do all these things. You can't recruit people to the Lord, okay? The Lord already have the Spirit chosen. It's just a matter of when that Spirit is going to be awakened. He chooses you out of the world. Ain't no flyer, no matter how colorful it is, 4K color, how it's presented, whatever the case like that, it's going to make you an elect. They prophesy the smooth things. No Jacob's trouble. Oh, maybe there is a little bit of it. It was a long time ago. Blah, 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 blah. They don't talk about the MOTB. Okay? They don't talk about the mark. They don't focus on that. And that is very critical. There isn't a lesson. Slack here. Wow. Wow. I got a hold of that. Okay? That's a gust of wind just now. I don't know. Heavy gust of wind. I got to hold it. Okay? Give me a second here. Alright, give me a second here. Wow. Give me a second. I don't have another spot to go to where I could get out of the wind. Okay? I'm trying, to do this on the highway and the byway where I can be seen. That's what we're supposed to do it that way. Other than that, I would just do it at home. Okay? But I really don't like the idea of having to go behind a building to go hide and be all comfortable. Okay? But the weather is very shitty out here. Almost lost my train of thought here. Hopefully I get it back. It says, get you out of the way and turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before. So they don't want to know the fact that the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, the God of the Bible, in fact, is a man of war. Okay? He demands obedience. Okay? Okay? Order. Those things like that. So, white man Christianity teaches you that you can do whatever. You could be a wicked ass motherfucker all your life, and then at the last minute, just before you take your last breath, you say, "Forgive me, Jesus, for all my sins," and you go to heaven. You make the sign of the cross and you go to heaven. I bought into that bullshit for a long time. I actually thought that was for real. I did. I used to actually think that was for real. That's all you have to do. But that's not the case. Your works. Faith without works is what? Okay? It's dead, man. You want us to lie to you, Jake? We're not going to. He said, "Wherefore said the Holy One, because ye despise His word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon." Now notice that word notice the word used in oppression. Aren't we an oppressed set of people? So who's oppressing us? Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man. We are under oppression. Oppression is when you're subjected to unrighteous cruelty. That's our people. You don't get a fair trial. They can murder and kill you. They don't persecute or prosecute the people. Now you get chinks killing us and getting away with it. It sends a clear message about of our value. When are you gonna wake up, Jake? Okay? This man is making it very clear that we are of no value, despite the fact that we, with our blood, built this nation, made the life easy for these doggone crackers. At the end of the day, our life is nothing. You would think that we would be the number one people in this society for building this place from our slavery, the blood. We would be the number one. Okay? We understand that the Edomites, okay, they're the dominant factor. You know, they conquered the place. But they use us to build their wealth, and then they so-called fought a war so that we could be free and also go and get wealthy ourselves. You'd think that would be the case, but it wasn't. Instead, the other tribes get the other people, the Chinks come over here, them baboon-looking monkeys from friggin' Africa, they come over here. Them sand monkeys or the doggone, the Middle East, they come over here. Them stink curry smelly fucking doggone East Indians, they come over here and they prosper. They have businesses. They open up businesses up in the poor places where we live, feed us abomination and crap, and then get the nerve to look down on us when they have done nothing. They haven't laid up one brick to build this place, but they look down on us. They come on easy street, get a loan. They're not followed around in their cars. They're not persecuted, prosecuted. They're not bullied, beaten. They're not harassed. How the hell you can say all men are created equal when despite all of that, Jake still overcome? And I'll go more into that in that lesson I'm going to make with this, Lord willing. But you Jakes don't consider oppression, perverseness. Oh, if you're a fight, Esau loves that. Boy, if one thing doggone these Edomites like, okay, is a big old 6'5", 300-pound, muscle-bound faggot. And that's why every Hollywood actor, Jakes them, they get bent over and get reamed up the ass, man. All of them. They have to. Because that's what he likes to do, is emasculate. Okay? Okay, did you see that? I am definitely going to use that on my thumbnail. Okay? Alright? You see that? There's a Jake going down the street. Okay? Scrawny little skinny leg, purple trousers with a bandana wrap around his head like Aunt Jemima with his shirt off. You can't make this shit up, man. Okay? You can't make this shit up. It says, Therefore, this iniquity should be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. That would means, okay, that means you would have to be comfortable here in Great Babylon, America. You would assume things are going well. Jakes are probably in a position where they feel like they're being accepted. People listening to them, taking advice from them, all that stuff. Okay? Now keep in mind, not only does the so-called white man go crouching with his head down, so does the so-called white woman. Okay? And the white woman is very proud. Very racist, very proud. She'll even kind of get you comfortable too. You know, tell me, what do you think about this? And just like that, you can get caught up in believing that some way, somehow, they see you as somewhat of an asset to them. You're not the asset that you think that you are to them. You're an asset in a way that once they've used you, they discard you. This is what we're seeing happening now with Eve. Eve is now being discarded. Eve is now the dodge that they came up with caused a lot of Eves to be put out of work. Okay? A lot of Eves got put out of work, out of a job. And one way or the other, and a lot of brothers bring up Isaiah 4:1. The Lord is going to bring down you so-called blacks and Latino women haughtiness down. I see a lot of the haughtiness out here from the Latino women. Now, most of the places I lived in America, I was surrounded mainly by Edomites. I was even married to one. All my ex-girlfriends were Edomites. I've been around them. I'm not going to go into it and exactly what my experience was, which was negative. But you get an understanding. And I'm Tawadi Yahba Shemal Shai for getting me out of that. Now I'm out here in El Paso where I'm around mainly light-skinned Hispanic and Latinos. The census show that 69% of Latinos and Hispanics out here in El Paso identify as Caucasian. That is like shocking. So if you identify as Caucasian or an Edomite, your spirit and attitude is going to be that of an Edomite. So they see no problem celebrating abominable holidays, unrighteous holidays. They see no problem eating taco with abominable meats in it. They don't view the dark-skinned men that are out here. I'm on the east side of El Paso, which is a newly developed area. The other brothers out there, they're on the west side, okay, between the downtown and the west side, okay, of El Paso. Standing out boldly, speaking, prophesying. Unlike me, people drive by. Not too many people walk by, but they do drive by. I got a huge parking space in the back of me. They can park, they can inquire, but they don't. Because it means nothing to them. Because if you think you're an Edomite or you think you're white, why in the hell would you want to stop and hear this? Because what you're going to hear is these people on this chart are the Hebrew Israelites. These people, okay, and I got a deal. I'm gonna have to put a new Velcro on this stuff. These people in particular, right there, Edomites are the wicked. Now, those are the gods of the 2/3 who are rebellious against Yahweh Shem Shai. So when we speak against them, they're pissed. They're pissed. You get doggone niggas calling us black supremacists, racists, separatists. But wait a minute. Wait a minute, Jake. Show me the rich billionaire Edomites that wants to associate with me. Elon Musk, you wanna have dinner? You pay for it, buddy. You pay for it. Bill Gates, you wanna have dinner? Can you send your private jet, or can you come here in your private jet and pick me up and take me to dinner? I would like to associate with you, Bill Gates or Elon Musk. You see that, Jake? See, what y'all talking about joining hand in hand is y'all want to join hand in hand with these peasant, useless crackers that have done this to you. Who the fuck you think did that, doing this shit to you? Huh? Who the fuck you think doing this shit to you, Jake? Huh? It ain't the elites. It ain't the Bill Gates and them doing that. It's your everyday baboon-looking, caveman-looking cracker, okay, that wants to walk up to you with a smile on their face because they're catching hell, and suddenly now they want you to feel sorry for them and join hands with them and help them out. And we're all in this together. No, we're not all in this together. The Mashiach made it very doggone clear. My servants shall eat, drink, and be happy and merry while all the rest of you are crying and suffering. And you deserve every bit of it. We're not in the same boat. See, that's what you niggas want. See, you niggas want to be with join hand with these useless doggone motherfuckers. The one that goes in the dojo practicing how to choke your ass out, go to the gun range, okay, to friggin' put a bullet down range in your doggone nigga fucking skull, okay? You're not talking about let's go join hand and have a sit down meal or dinner with Edomites that actually have the ability to do something for your ass. Like, I mean, freaking doggone actually got money, can do something. And that's how low level y'all thinking. But this message, it's you Edomites out there in the high places. Because we don't come out here to warn you low level Edomites that you're gonna go into slavery. That's a given. We let the Bilderbergs know, the Rockefeller know, the Bill Gates them know, and all sitting presidents of this country know, you are all going into slavery. All of you are going into slavery. You are all going into slavery. You have all offended the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. You think you can lay hands on us and just get away with it? The Mashiach is going to come back and he's going to learn you doggone crackers a damn lesson, boy. Alright? And no amount of crying from niggas who wants to join hands with you, okay, is going. In fact, I'm going to bring that out. Okay? Let's bring that out. This is Proverbs. This is Proverbs 18. This is Proverbs 11, verse 18 reads, the wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. We are about life. Esau is about death. He's all about wickedness. He's about death. He's going, and that's exactly what the Lord is going to reward him with death. We are going to be rewarded with life. Okay? It says, they that are of a forward heart are abomination to the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. But such are upright in their way are his delight. Okay? He don't like the so-called white man. He doesn't like Esau. Esau is wicked. His heart is evil. All this man thinks about is how to kill, how to rape, how to maim. He's anti-life. Okay? And you want to do this. It says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous should be delivered. Okay? You can join hands with them. You can join hands with these ones who hung you from trees. See, this is the reason why we always warn you about never trust our enemy. But then y'all are not going to listen. See, when things get tough, you doggone jigs, I can guarantee how you would do this. You don't have enough food or have something, the ability to help a brother that maybe might be able to, might need help. And I would bet you doggone, you Negroes, you Spicks, okay, you wetbacks, you Tontos, I bet you if we came around, okay, dying of hunger and thirst, you would turn us away, but you would open that door to a doggone gritty teeth, missing teeth, stinky, nasty caveman, Edomite, okay, that's going to come up to you and say, yo, brother, hey, can you help me? And y'all think, like, maybe if I help this doggone so-called white man and his family will help him, maybe they'll like me or something like that. Well, wait a minute. Where are you benefiting from them? They're coming to you for help. So why are you still looking at them as superior to you? You dumb nigga and Spicks? I don't get it with y'all, man. They're coming to you who has been at the bottom your entire life. These motherfuckers too stupid to even prepare for a time that has been warned about, okay? Even through their people called preppers. They're coming to you for help, and you are still going to look at them with the eyes of superiority. Yet still you would turn around and pull the sword on your damn brother, who's righteous, that may need a drink of water, okay? Or bread to eat. And that's why the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, is going to kill you motherfuckers, man. And you deserve every bit of it. I hate you niggas and Spicks. You worthless ass shit. And I'm not talking about the brothers and sisters in this truth ministry. I'm talking about the rest of you cocksuckers in the fucking world, okay? That has the eyes of hatred for another poor man just like you. Let's go again, okay? Okay, let's go into this scripture here. I like this one because this one also talk about it. Let me just bring it up. Let's see if I can find it. This is Isaiah 13. Okay. Start verse. Let's start with verse 12. It says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden badge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall move out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemashah, in the day of his fierce anger." Which we talk about nukes. Okay, we're going to see what one of these actually look like. Now, if you see a nuclear, if you're close enough to see a nuclear explosion, okay, most likely you're going to be dead. You're going to be dead. Okay, so you might see from a distance, but mainly we're going to see that, okay, especially here in Great Babylon, America, we're going to see that from the chariot. We're going to see what those look like. Front row seat, probably eating holy popcorn or nana, okay, angel food, feasting, and then it's going to be a show that we're going to see, okay? It says, "And it should be a chase row, as the chase row, and as a sheep that no man take it up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone in his own land." The race war that's going to come here, you can be friends with these Edomites, you can be friends with these chinks all you want, particularly these Edomites. They might even, a lot of these guys when they take off their mask and shit, blend right in, you don't know who they are, will recruit you. They plan on killing you, or they're killing you, but they will probably recruit you, Jakes, to go help them and probably give you a mission to go, a suicide mission, where you're going to go up against, okay, either the military or the government, okay? And a lot of you Jakes, because you want to please the white man so bad, you say, yep, you're going to do it. Not knowing that the same guys that you join hands with are the same dudes that was walking around with a mask on their damn face or had their face covered, holding a swastika flag. Okay? That's them. But when they take it off, they look just like just Billy Bob and whatever the case like that. I don't trust no fucking Edomites. None. I don't trust none of you crackers. You look like a cracker. My senses are tingling. Unless proven otherwise with the spirit. Okay? And I'm yet to come across an Edomite yet that had a spirit that I thought was a Jake. Well, no, I beg to differ. I think probably maybe one or two since I've been in the ministry. I've come across an Edomite that's come up to my camp that I say, you know, could be a Jake. Other than that, all crackers. All crackers. And I'm not going to try to make an Edomite a Jake either. If you're a fucking Jake, go do the work. Use your skin as an advantage to go friggin' help the dark skinned Jakes. It says everyone that is found should be trusted, and everyone that is joined unto them should fall by the sword. Okay? You join onto these Edomites. When Yahushua returns, yeah, you join onto them, then you're an enemy. You're an enemy of the throne. Them cherries gonna zap your doggone ass. You're gonna be put to death. Okay? I mean, when you think about it, it's cowardly for you men, especially you men, wearing your fancy robes, your purple robes, and whatever color robes you're wearing, walking around talking, but being very passive aggressive. You're more concerned about getting the social security number, bank account number of your congregation so you can go take expensive exotic trips. Okay? And the Lord put the spirit and ignorance into your thousands of followers to do that shit. I wish a nigga would. He put that spirit in a lot of you weak ass niggas to go do that shit. What the fuck do they need your social security number and bank account for? And like, who was it? I think it was the GMS Casey Prophet said in his lesson, he goes, these guys, God is really that Nate guy. I don't see nothing special about this dude at all. I don't get it. But then I do get it. The Lord has y'all blind. This dude is like a Pied Piper. Or the Pied Piper nigga. Okay? Get a whole bunch of damn retarded ass niggas worshiping him. Like he can do something. Their children also should be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and else should be spoiled, and their lives ravished. Okay, that's gonna happen to you damn Edomites, man. Okay, all the Becky and them. Okay, and although Edomite bitches are nasty as fuck, a lot of them still look cute, man. They still look. A lot of them look fine as fuck. If you can get them on the 25. Usually after 25, they look like shit. They go to shit. You know, because at that time, the sun already bleach them out and just fuck, their skin all cracked up and shit. But boy, oh boy, okay, this is telling you there's going to be a lot of fucking going on here. Okay, children dashing to pieces. Yeah, that's righteous judgment. Look what y'all did to young Jason. Alligator bait. Think that was funny? Pulling out the fetus out of our women's womb. Thought that was great, funny. All the horrendous things that you've done to the children of Israel, the Lord is going to dish that to you crackers twice, double. And it's going to be so sudden. It's going to be so sudden and so horrible. The men of the Lord are still on the highway and the byway, which means what? The elect is still being sealed. Once the elect has been sealed, judgment will commence. Those curses are transferred. Deuteronomy 30, and 7, those curses are transferred. The elect has been sealed. Okay? The Lord is not going to hold back. He's going to really give those judgments out there to, okay, his enemies. And who is his enemies? All the rest of these doggone tribes, which includes you 2/3. That's going to be Jacob's trouble, and that hell you're going to be catching. Okay? And you're going to be going to and fro, up and down, looking for answers. Well, what were they saying? Oh my God, where are those guys that was on the street? Okay? Let's close out with let's go with Ecclesiastes 7 and starting with verse 2. It says, "It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart." Okay? So there was no 4th of July celebration. Anniversary after anniversary comes, no celebration. Birthday after birthday comes, no celebration. Father's Day, Mother's Day, all kinds of stuff. And you know what? People might look at you and they don't like you because you're not sending the cards. You're not saying Happy Father's Day. You're not saying Happy Mother's Day. All that shit. You're the bad son. They hate you. But you stand your ground. Because again, like the scripture said, if we were of the world would love its own. But because the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has chosen us out of the world, Yahweh Shai chose us out of the world, therefore they hate us. And I can accept that hate. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm just one of those type that don't care if you like me. I don't. I really don't. I've been pretty much antisocial majority of my life. Well, for the last 30 years maybe, I'll say. Right? Especially for the last 10 years. It's burdensome and it's a waste of time to even give a flying shit if somebody likes you. Who cares? I don't care. So, no, we're not in the spirit of feasting. It says sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. Okay? So we know that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to destroy this place. Okay? So we're not like looking at this place like, oh my goodness, I don't want to see this place go. Hell yeah, we want to see it. Okay? We see in judgment every single day. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Okay? And that's why my neighbor shooting up fireworks last night. Spicks. Okay? They living it up. They living it up. Okay? They're boastful, they're young, and they're living it up. When I was their age, I didn't have a pot to piss in. I didn't have a pot to piss in when I was their age. Okay? But they're young, big house, multiple cars, 6, 7 cars, little toy, all kinds of trinkets and everything. They're in a household. They think they're the shit. They have nothing to fear. They're not concerned about anything. They're not concerned about anything because, the wife will walk around with a big jello booty, high heels. They turn their head the other way when they see me, and that's fine. And they turn their head with the other neighbors too, which is kind of weird. Okay, I'm not going to go any further with it, but I just use it as an example because it's something I see every day where you have those that, because they got a nice crib, a car for every day to drive, you can jet set if they want to, wear the nicest clothes, whatever. They have nothing to fear. You know who has something to fear? We do. We fear because we fear Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. Because we know what the Lord is going to do leading up to his return. Okay? We know what is going to take place leading up to the return of the Mashiach. And we pray that we're worthy to be saved. He don't kill us. And then we go to the spirit world before he returns. That we're part of the elect. So, Lord willing, this has been edifying. To those of you who will watch this video, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Shalom.